How are you fine folks today? I hope you're doing well. We are going to be watching a match here between Thorrk and Avestator, running the Han Solo for Thorrk, and Avestator's running that uh, Control-y Thrawn deck. So it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. We haven't seen a ton of Thrawn played. He's kind of an off-meta pick. So, yeah, this will definitely be an interesting one. He should be pretty good into the Han, just because he's got a lot of those control-y cards that, you know, really give Han a hard time, especially, like a late game Super Laser Blast, Vigilance even to run Han out of cards. That can actually happen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one shows up. Let me know if you like the new format. I'm messing around with it a little bit here for that list view. I think it's pretty solid, but if you've got suggestions, if you've got comments, let me know, and I will, do my best to make it easier for you guys to read. So yeah, I do appreciate all the feedback. Let's see. Besides that, though, looking at these lists overall, there's not a ton that really needs to be said about either one. Interesting thing to note about the Thorrk list, he dropped a copy of the Vanguard Ace for a copy of the Aztec gunship, and I think he also removed a couple copies of the Akbar to bring another one in there, and then the patrolling V-wing. So give him a little more space presence. We've seen in the past that Han kind of struggles with getting enough space. The V-wing isn't fantastic, but a little bit of extra damage, a good surprise strike target, all those kinds of things will definitely play a role for that list. We got the players ready to go here. Briefly going over Avestator's list. He's only got one Vanquish, but he's got three takedowns, which I think is a pretty solid way to be running that. He's also got three copies of Bosk, three copies of Bounty Hunter Crew, and three copies of Boba Fett, which will give him a nice board presence in the ground arena. His space is a little bit on the weak side. He's not running any System Patrol Craft, which is a card we've commonly seen in the blue decks, just to give him a little bit of Sentinel up there. So it will be kind of interesting to see how he deals with potentially, a big space arena from Thorrk. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for these lists. Players are rolling off now, so we will be getting underway here momentarily. And I will go ahead and start a prediction poll. Go ahead and drop your favorite deck. Who do you think is going to win here? Personally, I think Han takes the first one. The sideboard, we didn't really go over that, but I will after this first game. I think that there's some potentially great cards there. All right. So Thrawn will take a peek at the top of each of these decks. Thrawn has one of the strongest native abilities. It's in the same vein of like a Iden, where you just get to do that, regardless of you know anything. I should say Iden's deployed side, um, but yeah, Thrawn's native ability to look at the top card of each deck is convenient to um, potentially, hand manipulation. I think there's a lot of great things that could come with Thrawn, so it'll be interesting to see where they kind of take it. Um, but I expect it to uh, be nice to kind of control the Han player a little bit. Um, if you see he's got a 7 cost card there, then you can really tap anything on his board. I'm not sure how I feel about the Vigilance in the Thrawn deck. It's definitely a solid card as an anti-control card, but in this matchup, I'm not sure how strong it could be. Power of the Dark Side is definitely going to be a high impact one. We're going to see Spark of Rebellion come out for Han first. He will be able to get rid of that Power of the Dark Side and the takedown, really whatever he chooses. I think you get rid of Power of the Dark Side here since you want to deploy Han. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Spark of Rebellion is a very nice 2-drop card to have as an anti-control card, and I think that's why Thorrk has included it in his main list. Since, as we've discussed on the stream in the past, Han's weakest matchup is definitely that control matchup. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if attacking with Boba Fett here was the move. He didn't have anything in hand to play, so it kind of is a little unfortunate. Boba Fett could have killed Han in one go after he attacked, but I'm not sure if he was willing to pass for that. If you're just joining us, this is a game for the top 16 cut of the Take the Initiative tournament. And you guys may well know Thorrk. He posts a lot of the YouTube videos, and he's a pretty solid player overall. In my opinion, he's definitely one of the strongest right now. And Avestator as well, very strong. I believe both of these players were in the top cut for the previous season as well. So you like to see that consistent, appearances. So we didn't see Thorrk deploy Han last round. I think maybe he didn't want to get rid of a card. Which makes sense. Thrawn did draw the No Good to Me Dead, which is extremely brutal in this matchup. Thorrk playing it smart and dropping a 7th resource before he deploys. He wants to guarantee that he gets the U-Wing off. He doesn't want to, rely on potentially getting exhausted before he can attack. So I think that's a good play on Thorrk's part. Avestator looking over some of these moves here. I think deploying Bib makes a lot of sense, personally. Allows you to keep your Boba untapped. Kind of see what the Han player is going to bring out. You kind of got to anticipate maybe a Han. You could also anticipate a Echo based defender. A lot of the cards that Thorrk has are pretty high impact on the board. Okay, so he is going to do Han. So it kills the Boba Fett before he attacks, which is a little unfortunate. But I think the ability to potentially kill Han in one go makes a ton of sense. If you're Avestator here, you kind of gotta think about this one. Do you want to just take the initiative now and let Han kind of go, or is it worth it to maybe No Good to Me Dead or pass and then No Good to Me Dead? Both of those, I wouldn't be mad at any of those. Okay, so it looks like he does pass, and then we will see No Good to Me Dead. That means Thorrk will end up with the initiative. Bounty Hunter Crew could be good here. Um, it's not the best card in the world. Yeah, I understand that resource because it does. Okay, so he's gonna resource the Boba Fett. Hey, thanks, Wiley Cody. Appreciate the follow, buddy. Thork with the first action here. Let's see. I don't remember what he put down as a resource. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. He'll go 6 into the base with Han. We'll see Grand Admiral Thrawn deploy. He's dealing 3 to that Han Solo. So this puts him in striking range of Vigilance. It puts him in striking range of... Oh, and there's the Bright Hope. Solid play. Bringing back that Han, healing that damage, and drawing a card. Tough call here if you are Avestator. Do you deploy that Bounty Hunter crew and maybe deal some damage to Han as the leader? Do you kill the Greedo and maybe get No Good to Me Dead back in hand? It's a lot of solid options. Unfortunately, Grand Admiral Thrawn taking a huge hit from the Han Solo on the return is unfortunate, considering that the Han Solo is now safe from all the damage and can deploy and ambush again. So he will vigilance to. He's going to give himself a shield and then heal 5. Okay, that's solid. That's a solid play. You want to make sure that Thrawn stays alive for as long as possible. And then we'll see Bib kill the Greedo. And, Greedo hits with the Traitorous, which will remove that shield from Grand Admiral Thrawn. A bit unfortunate there for him. Han is now free to deploy out of the hand and kill Thrawn without taking any return damage. This puts Thorrk in a pretty solid position. Thork, of course, is one resource ahead, so this means we could see a home one here. We could see a Han Solo, and we could see the Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. They're all solid plays. I'm kind of leaning towards Rogue Squadron Skirmisher because then it saves you the waylay, like the ability to hit with Han to the base or kill Bib, and then to play a waylay down or another 3 cost because you get a 2 cost because you can get that card with Rogue Squadron. So I think that's a pretty solid play. Of course, Han is no slouch. That's pretty good. And then home one, of course, also getting to draw a card from your graveyard is good. So okay, so we will see Han, the leader, go into Thrawn to kill him. Which is quite nice. Um, Thrawn's ability isn't going to be active for this turn. It does mean Dooku comes down and can kill Han Solo. Overall, these guys are playing it pretty well, keeping it tight. The damage here that is on the base for Avestator is not you know terrible. It's not something that's like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna come back from that. So we do see he's looking through there. He's got a Greedo target. He also has a Millennium Falcon target for home one. Um, he could be planning on going for a big space push here with the home one plus uh, Falcon. No, I think that makes more sense. He's going for the Han Solo. Oh no, maybe he's thinking about it. It's definitely a tough call. Yeah, Dooku with that shield is uh, tough to deal with. So he's going to go for the kind of big space push play. Avestator will take the initiative and will take 3 damage. Notably, Han is now healing again, so that's the annoying part about home one. So we got an entrenched. It could be nice to put on the home one, right? Save yourself a ton of damage. It does mean Avenger's going to be extra hard to play now. So that'll be an interesting thing if it comes to that. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about Bounty Hunter Crew not ambushing. It does allow him to get a couple of cards back. Does he want to like a Power of the Dark Side? Does he want a Vigilance? I think Vigilance is the play here. Um, Even though it's expensive at a 6 cost, it has a lot of impact. You can heal 5 from your base. You can kill units. Just a lot of good options. So yeah, Vul Hugo. This is a very interesting matchup. Um, we're at the point of the game here where it's kind of tough to tell who's going to win still. Uh, Dooku going and dealing 5 to Han for the shield, and Thork will end up with initiative. Kind of a bad draw there for Avestator. Looking for a super laser blast or something similar. Ends up pulling 2 Viper probes. Han's able to go to the base. 10 HP from failure. So Bib will go ahead and trade out that Han. Talking with Falcon there. We're going to see Avenger come out. It's kind of a forced play, in my opinion. It means that he's going to get rid of either Falcon or Bright Hope. Oh no, he's going to get rid of Home One. That's an interesting choice for Thorrk. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think you can afford, as a Han player here, to get rid of the Falcon. Avestator will take initiative. The problem with Bright Hope, if you're attacking with Avenger, is that the Han player can choose to kill himself when you attack him if he's the only target. Since Bright Hope has Sentinel, uh, you can actually choose to kill Bright Hope. It just means that Avenger won't have damage on him. And since Avestator ended up with initiative, that's why I was curious about that home one play, since he would have been able to kill it. The waylay doesn't mean much here. I might have missed something here. I might have missed something. Okay, so Rogue Squadron attacking. Oh, sorry, we're still in the round before. My apologies. Okay, there we go. We're on to the next round. I was getting ahead of myself. Thork was able to deploy a couple more units, which gives him a few more targets to hit with Avenger. So he's not going to lose his high impact cards as much. I think if you're Avestator here, you definitely attack with Avenger first. Uh, Guarantee kill the Bright Hope, and then you probably end up getting waylaid. But I'd rather attack and kill a unit for sure than to end up waylaid. He also is probably thinking, what if Thork has a surprise strike? Because that would be able to kill him one go. Definitely a tough call. Vigilance might be the yeah, I'm not sure how much mill is going to come into play in this particular game, just because it is so. Um, yeah, okay, so only dealing 5 with the Dooku. I'm not sure that was what I would have chosen to go with. And yeah, we see Vigilance come to heal 5 and kill the Rogue Squadron. So if you're Thork here, I think you attack with Bright Hope, um, which deals only 2 damage instead of 3. But then it allows you to choose to kill your own Bright Hope with the, if he plays Power of the Dark Side or attacks with Avenger. Um, and that's good because he's forced to attack that unit. He's going to end up going with the Waylay first. I think that's also a solid play. It does mean Power of the Dark Side still going to happen. Oh, and he scoops. Okay. On to game 2 here. Let's take a look at those lists one more time. So, we've got Thork with the U-Wing list, and we got Avestator with the Thrawn list. What do I expect to see coming in here? Let's see. Just looking at these lists, we could see some Bodies come in for Thork. Not sure if it's that strong of a play. Syndicate Lackeys makes some sense. I think he might. Yeah, let's see. The gunship, bringing in a copy of the gunship, could be key to securing some space arena stuff. Uh, Avestator's early game um, cards are in the space arena, I should say, is pretty limited to Inferno 4, and then later in the game is when he gets access to Avenger. So he's got a very weak space. So maybe the strongest card you can bring in here is the Aztec gunship. Um, and then if you're playing the Thrawn player here, you might want to bring in some Syndicate lackeys instead of Bounty Hunter crews. You could look at potentially the repairs. Since Han is kind of fast, the repairs might be nice. Waylay is okay, but honestly, since it's a very typical mid-range Han deck, everything has a when played effect or a ambush, meaning that Waylay is pretty underpowered. So I don't really expect that. Vanquish is all right, but again, you're talking about these low cost Han cards where he's bringing out 3 for 7, and if you have to pay 5 to remove one of those units, he's still a 2 unit advantage over you. Han ended up winning the first game. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go on to game 2. Is Thorrk going to end up with the sweep here? Oh, sorry. There we go. This time around, Thrawn will start with initiative. Yeah, the mid game for Han is definitely heavy in the space as anti Thrawn. He also so he did end up bringing in. We saw it on the sideboard, the prepare for takeoff card, which allows you to look at your top 8 cards and draw 2 vehicles from it. That's going to be important. So I think Thorrk, Thorrk and Thrawn. Um, I think Thorrk made a great decision there to bring that in for the sideboard. I honestly didn't think about it too much, but that's going to be impactful to help him bring in some space units. So I do like that. He got a pretty good hand as well, being able to have a prepare for takeoff, a U-wing, a home one, a Millennium Falcon, a resupply, and a Han. So that's pretty solid. All right, Thorpe going with the resupply. We'll see Boba Fett come out here for Thrawn. And there's a super laser blast. That would have been key last game, but unfortunately he just did not draw it. He will get rid of a copy of the Vigilance, which I think is a good choice. Um, it's a very expensive card to be running into a pretty tempo-y Han deck. So we'll see a Spark of Rebellion here. And once he looks at that, I think we're going to instantly see him tap on that Super Laser Blast and get rid of that card. Can't having that mess up his late game. Although it is an interesting choice, whether you let him keep that, let him keep the Vigilance, or let him keep the Entrenched. He's going to get rid of the Super Laser Blast. That makes sense to me. We'll see Bib hit the base. And then a Falcon for Han. He will reveal a Vigilance and exhaust that Millennium Falcon. Thorrk really deciding if he wants to go for initiative here or if he wants to deploy Han. He can. Well, the problem is, if he puts down a card like a Greedo, he then doesn't have a unit to play with Han. Um, but that's honestly fine. Maybe the best thing here is just to take the initiative. It's definitely a tough call. Thanks, John. Appreciate the follower, man. And it looks like we reached our goal. 125, baby. 125. I don't blame Thork for taking his time here at all. This is a high impact turn. So, the decision here, whatever he chooses, will either go on to haunt him throughout the rest of the game or it'll, uh, potentially hold him back. So it looks like Thork passed. Avestator will take the initiative off of that, considering he's got a lot of reactive cards. I like that. I like that play from Avestator. I don't like that from Thork, honestly. I think taking the initiative there makes perfectly fine sense. If you were, kind of hesitant on dropping the Han, then just take the initiative. Thanks, Buku. It was great watching your game, so it's good to see you in the stream here. And Falcon will come back to hand, not paying the extra one there. Um, kind of does hurt a little bit, but it allows him to play a Ewing or a Han this turn. Boba Fett getting the entrenched. I like that play. I really do. That brings him out of the Han Solo attack range, which Thork was probably looking at. He will waylay it, so good value there for Thork. And then we'll see the replayed Boba Fett come out here. Or for Avestator, my apologies. Han will come down. Bib will hit base for 1. And Han will hit base for 4. We'll see him exhaust 3 resources, play down that Falcon, and swing into the base for 3. Avestator just taking the initiative there. He draws another Super Laser Blast. That's going to be great. We're a couple turns out from 8, but in that time, he could play down a Home 1, he could play down a Han Solo, he could put down a U-Wing. All of those cards are definitely countered very hard by the Super Laser Blast. And then Thrawn will show a Bodhi Rook. So it looks like Thork did put the Bodhies in. And he'll exhaust that Falcon. And we will see Han come out and take that Boba Fett off the board. Strong play there for Thorrk. So unfortunately, he couldn't play the Bosk there. Avestator couldn't play the Bosk since it didn't really have any board impact. Dealing 4 damage and taking 5, he can't kill either Han Solo. So taking the initiative makes perfectly fine sense to me, especially if you plan to Super Laser Blast. I think he's a turn early there. That's only 7 resources, right? Oh no, he exhausted. There's Bib coming into play. Okay. Bib Fortuna allows you to um, play an event from your hand. It costs 1 less. So that's a strong action there that he could take. It allows him to deploy Thrawn after Han Solos have been taken off the board. We will see Helm 1 come down and take that Falcon back onto the board, dealing 3 more damage to the base. So now, depending on what Thorrk plays, we could end up seeing 2 Power of the Dark Sides here to remove that Home 1 and clear the Space Arena up. Avestator does still have initiative, so I kind of do expect that. So we'll see Power of the Dark Side. Falcon will go down. So if we see Home 1 attack the base here for... He could attack the base for a 10 using Surprise Strike. It would... yeah, that's okay. Oh, no. Okay, so first he's going to Spark a Rebellion. Good choice there. He's going to be able to get rid of that Power of the Dark Side. It is kind of a forced play to do that. Especially considering he's only got 5 resources up, so the only other play possible is Bosk, which Avestator will do. Yeah, Thorrk is one smart cookie. I will say, he's got a brain on him. And now Thorrk has an interesting choice. He can... Okay, so he's going to put down the Bright Hope. I like that a lot. Allows him to play a Ewing reinforcement. Avestator out of cards to play. He could attack the base for 3, but that's a pretty low impact attack, especially since Home 1's already attacked. So maybe taking the initiative is better. Definitely a tough call. So he did do that. And we will see Ewing reinforcements come out here for Thorrk, as expected. And that's Han Solo, which will remove the Bosk. And on to the next round. Avestator drawing one of the cards he needs, Vanquish. And Vanquish will take out home one. Yeah, tough call here. You definitely have to take the initiative as Avestator. Thorrk able to draw extra cards with that reinforcement walker. Why not attack? Because he wants to guarantee the initiative. If he didn't take the initiative, then home one gets to do an extra 7 damage. So he doesn't have to play the U wing there. He can save it for the next round. And that is GG. Thorrk taking this one down 2-0. I will say Thrawn is a little bit underpowered right now. He doesn't have all the tools he needs to really win. So I definitely commend Avestator for trying his best there. Um, Personally, not my favorite leader. He is just a little bit under that threshold. And of course, Han in the right hands is a solid deck. So Thorrk, of course, last season won the take the initiative top cut with his Thorrk green. He's made some slight tweaks to it, like we've seen in this game, to kind of better suit him against the control matchup. And I think that's had a big payoff here. We might be able to catch these guys. Let's see. Not sure if they're still around, but yeah, great games from both of these players. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, uh, you know, I think sometimes the better list will ultimately win. So yeah, GG's, and we will catch you guys in the next match. Um, let's see. The next one I'm doing is tomorrow at. Let me double check here. We've got a game at Thursday, 2200 Eastern Time. And then we've got one. Oh, and this will be featured on the Take the Initiative YouTube channel at 10 p.m. Eastern. Uh, XCTU versus Destiny Riku. That'll be a great one to catch. So if you're looking for another game, go ahead and find the Take the Initiative YouTube channel. Let me see if I can't link it real quick. It will be featured here. So go ahead and subscribe over there, and you'll get the notification for that game. Again, that's at let's see, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So yeah, if you want to watch more of these, definitely go follow over there. And yeah, have a fantastic rest of you guys' day, and I will catch you later. See ya.